Ever get that feeling like when you're talking to ChatGPT and you think, hold on a sec.
Right.
Is this thing actually getting me?
Yeah.
It, like, actually understands what you're saying, almost like you're talking to another person. It's kind of wild, right?
It's true. It's true. It can be pretty uncanny.
Well, get ready to have your minds blown, because today's deep dive is all about the tech behind that AI magic, large language models, or LLMs for short.
And it's not magic, though I'll admit it can feel like it.
It really can.
Really, at the end of the day, it all comes down to some seriously smart algorithms and just mountains and mountains of data. Imagine, like, feeding a mind, not with life experiences like we have, but with every book, every article, every tweet ever written.
Okay, every is a lot.
We're talking billions of words.
Billions is kind of hard to wrap your head around. So we're talking, like, everything. Shakespeare's sonnets to, like, my great Aunt Susan's never-ending Facebook rants, all of it.
Pretty much, yeah. Think about it like this. You know how a chef can, like, predict which flavors will go well together after years and years in the kitchen?
Right. Experience.
LLMs are kind of the same way. They start to see patterns in all that text, all those billions of words. They figure out how language flows, how meaning is actually constructed.
Okay, so no secret decoder ring, just pure pattern recognition, but on a crazy scale.
Exactly.
But how do they actually learn from all that data? Our source material mentioned something about transformers, and that sounds a bit, Hollywood known.
A little bit, yeah. A lot less explosions, thankfully.
Well, that's always good.
Transformers are actually a type of neural network architecture. Think of it like the framework that lets LLMs process language, but, like, incredibly efficiently.
So if I'm picturing this right, the neural network is like the AI's brain.
Yeah.
And this whole transformer thing, that's like the organizational structure, making sure that all that language data gets to the right place.
Yeah, you got it. That's a perfect analogy. And a really important part of this structure is something called self-attention. So imagine you're listening to someone talk and certain words just kind of pop, right?
Right, because they, like, hold the key to the whole meaning.
Exactly. That's kind of like self-attention at work. The LLM is figuring out which parts of what you're saying are the most important to understanding the meaning.
So when I'm, like, typing a prompt for ChatGPT, and I'm trying to be super duper specific, it's using self-attention to make sure it catches all those important details.
Yes, precisely. And the better an LLM is at that self-attention thing, the better it is at understanding what you want it to do instead of just, giving you some generic answer. But there's a flip side to this whole amazing ability thing.
Uh-oh, there's always a catch, isn't there?
There usually is, yeah.
All right, hit me with it. What's the catch?
Remember that mountain of data we were talking about?
Yeah.
As impressive as it is, it's also kind of like the limit. It creates the boundaries of the LLM's world. The AI can really only work with what it's been trained on.
So no matter how clever I get with my prompts,
Yeah.
the AI can't actually invent something completely new, kind of like, asking a chef to create some amazing dish, but with ingredients they've never even heard of.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. The output, as creative as it might seem to us, it's always going to be a reflection of the data that it was trained on.
That's so interesting. Okay, one last thing before we wrap up. The source material also mentioned LLMs breaking text down into tokens. What's that all about?
Okay, so think about it like this. You and I, we see a sentence as a complete thought, right?
Yeah.
LLMs, they don't. They see a sentence as a bunch of individual pieces. Words, punctuation marks, sometimes even just parts of words. Those are the tokens.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like they're taking a sentence and turning it into a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
The AI has to figure out how all those little pieces fit together to make sense of the whole thing.
You got it, exactly. And here's the really interesting part. The more of those tokens that the LLM can hold in its view at once, the more nuanced and complex its answers can be. That's what they call the context window.
So a bigger context window means the AI's less likely to get lost in the details and more likely to actually, like, get what I'm saying.
Precisely. It's all about those connections, making those connections, just like we do when we're trying to understand something new.
This has been amazing. Who knew there was so much going on behind the scenes of a simple chatbot conversation?
Right. It's really incredible when you think about it.
It really is.
And as these LLMs get even more, advanced, it really makes you think about the future and how we interact with technology.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. It's clear that the world of AI is anything but artificial. Until next time, keep those curiosity gears turning.